Okay, we are near the end of turn 11, and this is when things get hot. Um, so this is not, again, as a reminder, if you're just tuning in, this is not proceeding as a completely historical simulation at this point anymore because I just couldn't get myself to go with the way the British actually reacted to the situation, the deployments when they reached Concord, because knowing what we know and what they did not know at the time, of course, that would be just sheer folly. So essentially, what has happened now, we've had the same provocation, which led to the the rebel forces on the hill coming down as they did historically. I believe the phrase was, "Are you going to let them burn the whole town down?" It was a misunderstanding from a gun carriage that had been set on fire and was then they were dousing it. It caused smoke. Uh, the way things ended up in the scenario, I'm thinking perhaps maybe as the rebels, put this cannon carriage a little too far on the outskirts of town. Maybe there's not enough distance between the town and the bridge, but the situation is such that as the rebels have come down, the British have had time to take the company that was burning that gun carriage and bring them up to support the other light infantry company. So basically, the entire light infantry, in light infantry division, for lack of a better word, battalion, is defending the bridge. And they're not really defending the bridge. They're more in a position to slow the rebels down. And they'll be firing in there in a moment. I'll probably pause the video and we'll see how that goes. Under this rule set, fire is simultaneous. And at this, I think historically, the British fired for effect and the Americans fired for effect back. So it wasn't like the Lexington Concord scenario where just the shock of it all, and there was very little resistance from the Patriots. Sure, there were some very valiant souls, and they inflicted a couple of casualties, but they were pretty much taken off guard. So anyway, there will be an exchange of fire here. We'll see where that goes. Meanwhile, in the town, and Smith, like I said, has actually had time to come up here and take command. I don't, historically, he brought reinforcements. He just did not get there in time. So, what else is going on? I don't know. This is maybe a little bit reckless, but the Grenadiers, half of the Grenadiers are engaged in the task of destroying the remaining supplies. They'll be dumping them into the mill pond, which is what happened historically. My understanding is that with the flour and such, when it got wet, it created almost a glue, and it kind of sealed off the barrels, and so to the degree that all the flour was not destroyed, and it could actually be to a degree they were able to the rebels were able to use it. Obviously, there was some loss, but anyway, that's what's going on. Pitcairn, just the way where he was located and what was going on, he has ended up being in charge of the Grenadiers at the moment. And the thing is, the opposition is obvious. So I have the other half of the Grenadier Battalion is basically taking a position in line at the road and in the woods. Unbeknownst to them, of course, trouble is brewing. And it looks like the rebels some of those reinforcements were actually even able to cross the road, and they're getting into position. So the game is set in to actually get hot. I know a lot of people would want to have started at this point. To me, I don't know. To me, this getting here has been interesting. And it's game turn 11. We get to start rolling for the British reinforcements from Lord Percy's expedition next turn. And when they do, they are they're marching right now. The question is, how far down the road are they? And they'll be entering way over there. So I'm going to see if I can pause the video and then continue to record. Okay, the dice have been rolled. I have to do the calculations. But as you can see, this is a considerably larger initial engagement than what happened at the original event, where you just have, I think, what's it, 2 companies of light infantry, maybe 3, against this massive group coming down. But there were not that many British soldiers here, and they were not that deployed in such a fashion. They were in column, doing street firing, which is designed for like an actual street where soldiers can't, where the enemy can't outflank you or enfilade you, which is exactly what did happen in the historical battle. So let's see how this all comes out. Okay, the dice are rolled, the hits are calculated, and this is pretty devastating fire. They both rolled pretty well. And of course, there's more rebels than redcoats. Essentially, what happened over here with the main division of light infantry, they lost a stand, and one of their stands is down by 2. So that's pretty severe. I'll do a morale check in a moment. The rebels lost a stand 2, and over here, neither side lost a stand, but they each took 3 hits, which in the case of the light infantry, of course, when there's only 2 stands there, that's pretty severe. Morale checks are next. Okay, no one failed the morale test. Now, I had an interesting game mechanic to resolve on here. In determining, I've realized that the lights are kind of operating as 2 separate forces here. If I combine them, then they immediately would lose a stand based on their combined casualties, which also, which I guess is a reason not to combine them if you're the British player. It's also a reason not to treat morale for the entire regiment, but to treat them as sections. So at this point, there are 2 permanent sections. There's this very weak light section, and there's a slightly stronger light section. So at this stage, we had basically, they volleyed each other. They took heavy casualties on each side, and for the moment, they are both standing. No one's run away.